From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
It's Monday, September 21st, and right now on Good Morning Indiana.
So we continue to see fewer and fewer Hoosiers needing these benefits.
Thousands of Hoosiers will get extra unemployment benefits today. New at 6 o'clock, why the extra shot of cash will be short-lived.
I heard the commotion, kept it going, and once I got a little bit down, I heard the gunshots, and then I started fast walking.
Gunfires on the city's east side, leaving 3 people injured, including an alleged gunman. This morning, why officers responding to the scene had to open fire. And green grass across the Hoosier state turning brown this morning. The warning from firefighters as our dry stretch continues.
Welcome to Good Morning Indiana on this Monday, September the 21st. I'm Rafael Sanchez reporting live from, of course, the official WRTV studio in Johnson County. My good friends Lauren Casey and meteorologist Todd Clausen are in Studio A. Good morning to you both. I hope you've had a great weekend. And by the way, here at this studio, we are serving hot cocoa this morning because, well, it's just cool outside.
It is. It was a great weekend here across central Indiana. A great time to get outside. And you'll want maybe a light jacket if you are waking up early with us this morning, Todd.
Yeah, I think you definitely want to have the jacket here this morning, at least until the sun comes up. There's a big difference, obviously, between yesterday afternoon. I heard people saying, oh, feels great in the sun, then you get in the shade and it's really cool. I always say it makes about a 10-degree difference, but yeah, look at these temperatures this morning in the 40s and 50s. 41 in Terre Haute right now, 44 in Muncie. Indy still at 50 degrees with clear skies. And these temperatures may go down another couple degrees here this morning before the sunshine starts to work its magic and warms us up pretty quickly throughout the morning hours. We expand out and there's really not a whole lot to show you, not only here across the Midwest, but across the entire country. This little front will really have no impact on us at all as it slides to the north. So throughout the day today, we are looking at temperatures climbing into the mid-60s by the noon hour. High temperatures today will be topping off in the mid-70s, exactly where we should be on this last official day of summer. Fall arrives tomorrow. We'll talk about the rest of your forecast, Lauren, coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. I want to show you a busy spot for your commute this morning. It's up on the northwest side. This is I-65 and I-865 there in the dogleg. You can see traffic coming to a stop there. Some brake lights. You can see some flashing lights there on the very far left side of your screen. So what we know at least happening in this area here on the northwest side is we do have some maintenance work going on in the left lane as you're traveling southbound on I-65 and approaching I-865. So expect to hit the brakes as you head through that area as things are slowing down. So heads up to drivers in Zionsville, Whitestown, Lebanon. If you are heading towards Indianapolis, this will impact you. We'll continue to keep our eyes on this spot and keep you updated throughout the morning. Raphael?
Lauren, this morning we talk about money, your money, because this morning 164,000 Hoosiers will start receiving that extra $300 in unemployment dollars. The payments will cover 6 weeks of benefits, so the check should be pretty sizable. Now, the extra money under the president's executive order is already spent.
In Indiana, we learned on Friday that our unemployment rate now is down to 6.4%, which is a very good sign, lower than our neighboring states and most of the Midwest here, well below the national average. So we continue to see fewer and fewer Hoosiers needing these benefits. But for the $300 program, that 6 weeks is it now. Again, that's not a state-based decision. That comes from the funding that's available for the program.
So in all, $300 million will be issued this week to Hoosiers eligible for those extra $300. Now, while this federal program is already done, Indiana does have enough funds, of course, to continue to cover its own state benefits. Lauren?
Raphael, I want to turn now to the race for the White House. The election is just 43 days away. It's expected to be a record year for voter turnout. This morning, our Kelsey Anderson joins us live with how a nonpartisan group is registering voters. Kelsey, good morning.
Good morning. So tomorrow is National Voter Registration Day, and in honor of that, a local organization called Go Vote Indy is hosting a block party of sorts here at the Hi-Fi Annex in downtown Indy, and it's an event to help voters of any political party register to vote. Now, the event will take place again here at the Hi-Fi Annex starting at 6 p.m. It's an outdoor venue, so social distancing is possible and masks are required. This event is for all ages, and Go Vote Indy, along with other grassroots organizations, will be there to help voters register, urge people to volunteer at the polls, and to drive other voters to the polls. Once registration closes October 5th, the focus turns to educating voters and making sure barriers that were in place for the primary election in Marion County don't keep people from casting their vote in the general election. Now, to vote in November, you must be registered to vote by October 5th. And if you wish to vote absentee ballot, you have to have that absentee ballot application in by October 22nd. So for more information on how to vote here in Indianapolis and in Indiana and those deadlines you need to know about, head over to WRTV.com. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
A disturbance on the city's east side ends with Metro Police opening fire on a man to stop this dangerous situation. Officers were called to the Parkway Terrace apartments around noon on Sunday. Now, when they arrived, the man began shooting at officers. The officers returned fire, shooting the man. Shortly after, officers found 2 women nearby with gunshot wounds. Neighbors say this entire situation, they describe it as simply scary.
One of the girls was running towards Washington Street that I guess was shooting, or she got shot. I think she was full of blood. And she was running towards Washington Street, and then I seen another young lady running between the buildings there. And one of the girls was right by my door laying on the ground yelling, "My sister's been shot," you know. It was so scary.
All 3 involved are expected to survive. The shooting is under investigation to determine, as a matter of protocol, if the officer's gunfire was an appropriate use of force.
It is 6:06. Let's turn now to the latest on the coronavirus pandemic and the impact it's having here in Indiana. Health officials confirming 756 more positive COVID-19 tests on Sunday. Since the pandemic began, more than 111,000 Hoosiers have tested positive for COVID-19. Let's take a look at the number of new cases over the past 5 days. You'll notice that sharp jump in numbers on Friday. The health department says one reason for this increase is a newly onboarded lab and corrections to a lab reporting error. Case totals will be updated by the state during the noon hour today.
So, Lauren, state and federal officials say that the Hoosier state is leading the nation when it comes to the number of children adopted from foster care. Governor Eric Holcomb says in 2019, nearly 2,500 Hoosier children were adopted through the Department of Child Services. Last week, federal officials awarded the state with an adoption incentive of nearly $5 million. The money can be used to enhance the state's child welfare system.
Well, Hoosiers are starting to feel the impacts of the lack of rain across our state. We have a map here. It shows the drought conditions across Indiana. Take a look at this. This morning, much of the state is experiencing abnormally dry conditions, and up in northern Indiana, nearly a dozen counties are considered in the moderate drought. The relentless dry weather is leading officials in 2 counties to activate burn bans. Officials in Martin and Lawrence counties say it's dangerous for residents there to light fires. This morning, the state fire marshal is putting out a warning to everyone to take precautions, especially if you plan on activities like grilling, campfires, burning limbs or branches, or even setting off fireworks. There is a potential to cause a large fire, and the fire marshal says you need to make sure you have water nearby and a way to extinguish the fire if one starts.
So if you're out, if you're at a campground, or even at home in the backyard, we certainly want you to exercise caution when having open burning. Certainly look at your local guidelines for local burning in your communities. Some of the suggestions are a burn pit. Also, we would suggest a mesh screen over the top to cut down on embers that might be flying away.
Firefighters across the state have reported battling a number of field and brush fires. And Todd, we have a burn pit in our backyard. I was just telling you, it's full of sticks and it's going to stay not lit for right now. No rain in our forecast for today. But when are we going to get this much needed rain?
You know, there's not a whole lot in this forecast, unfortunately. Maybe on Thursday morning. We can pick up a few spotty showers with the remnants of what is Tropical Storm Beta that is down to our south, but very, very dry, over 2 inches below normal in rainfall here for the city of Indianapolis for September. In fact, we're on pace for the driest September on record. So the fire threat pretty high once again today and into the evening hours tonight as we deal with breezy conditions as well as the lack of rainfall, obviously. And then the humidity is really low, especially here this morning. Virtually no humidity out there, and that leads to the potential for these wildfires and forest fires to spread very quickly. So make sure you have your yard burning here across central Indiana. You take the appropriate precautions. Only 0.04 of an inch of rain in the last 33 days in Indianapolis, and that's why we're over 2 inches now below normal for the month. More on your extended forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
From operating the register, Lauren, to running her own restaurant.
Yeah, coming up, I'll show you the dream come true for one Greenwood native and why she's now looking for other Hoosiers to follow in her footsteps. That story and more coming up just after the break. Stick around.
I've always said if I was going to work anywhere, it would be at Culver's because I love their custard.
So you remember Jerry Overly, right? How could you forget her spirit? She was the 79-year-old Culver's team member we introduced you to last fall. She's working at the Noblesville location, a customer favorite there for her great attitude.
What a great spirit she has. I remember her. And
yeah.
Lauren, you shared with us how Culver's uses a multi-generational program and mentorship program to help employees go from workers to owning a restaurant, which is a great deal.
Yeah, so for one Greenwood native, Raphael, that day is almost here. A brand new Culver's is set to open in your area in Franklin, and the owner and operator got her start from a young age.
I started Culver's when I was a senior in high school.
Ashley Mitchell had dreams of going to school to be a pharmacist, but her first job was at her neighborhood Culver's.
I was doing cashier, I opened the restaurant.
She worked full-time and went to college full-time at IUPUI.
And I asked to be an assistant manager.
But the doors kept opening to new opportunities.
And I became general manager of the restaurant at 23.
As one of the youngest GMs, Mitchell decided to change career paths and focus on growing in a company she already loves.
This was my career. This is what I wanted to do in my life.
Mitchell took part in the company's mentee program in Wisconsin, a chance to develop her skills as a leader and business owner.
We did profit and loss statements. We learned how to do schedules. We learned how to do truck orders. We learned everything that you possibly could know. We've done TV interviews, mock interviews, and I'm putting it to use now.
Now she's working full-time on the final touches of her Culver's franchise near her home in Johnson County.
It just seemed like the right fit for me. There's so much growth and opportunity, especially right here on 65.
And the Culver's is conveniently located right off I-65 on exit 90 here in Franklin.
I want the community to know that we are here. We are going to support them.
Volunteering in the community is important to Mitchell, as is training the next generation of workers or maybe even another future owner and operator.
About half of my management team has been with me for 5 years or more. So I've watched them grow from team members to trainers to shift managers and assistant managers.
And now she needs you. Mitchell's in the process of hiring team members for all shifts and roles ahead of their grand opening. And so if you're interested in applying for a job at this new Culver's location, you can just click on this story at our website, hiringhoosiers.com. Ashley tells us opening day for the Franklin location is set for October 12th. So less than a month away from that, Todd. And I'm already hungry this morning. That sounds pretty good.
All right. There's so many things in this show that we see food. You know, Brad Brown had all his special reports that he was doing, and we just get hungry quick here on Good Morning Indiana. All right, outside right now we are dealing with quiet conditions, and it's another great day for us today with lots of sunshine, low humidity, and very, very comfortable temperatures. A wildfire smoke is set to return to the forecast probably starting tomorrow. So instead of that bright blue sky like we had the weekend that we'll have today, it'll kind of be that milky look for the middle of the week, and then some minor rain chances will be heading our way by Thursday, and then potentially maybe into the weekend as well. 41 in Greencastle right now, 43 in Bloomington, still holding on to 50 in Indianapolis, 44 is the current temperature in the Muncie area. area, and the skies are completely clear this morning. There's one weak little front that's on the tail end of an area of low pressure that's up in Canada that's going to bypass us to the north. So you see some showers there. You don't have to worry about those. Those are not heading our way this morning. Grab that light jacket. We'll be in the 40s here throughout most of the morning hours, at least until the sun comes up. And then those temperatures will start to moderate pretty quickly up into the low 60s by the time we get to the noon hour, mid 60s. And then eventually highs will be in the mid 70s this afternoon. And anywhere you are across central Indiana today, your temperatures are going to really be within a couple degrees of each other. We're all in the same air mass, 74 in Marion, 75 in Anderson, Martinsville to Shelbyville today, about 77 degrees for your high temperature. And then in southern locations, generally 74 to 77 degrees as well with the sunshine. Get out there and enjoy this evening. Once the sun starts to set, we'll cool off pretty quickly back down into the 60s. And by tomorrow morning, temperatures again are going to be in the 40s, pretty widespread. So tomorrow's another cool start to our day. It's the first official day of fall tomorrow, and it's certainly going to feel like that. And as we work our way throughout the day tomorrow, temperatures get back into the mid to upper 70s. So it's another day for us that's seasonable temperature-wise. Tomorrow there could be just a little more in the way of cloud cover that'll start to work its way in. But overall, it's going to be a very nice day for us. And I mentioned that wildfire smoke. Here's a computer model that shows you exactly what's going to happen. The timestamp here, current Monday at 6 a.m. You notice the gray color with our scale here. That stays off to our west. But as we work our way into Tuesday and then Wednesday, we start to bring that gray color here into central Indiana. In fact, some darker shades of gray. And on our scale, you can see it's more of a haze than anything. If we had the reds here and the whites, that would be the dense smoke. That's not going to happen. And in most of the smoke, again, will be in the higher layers of the atmosphere. So we don't have to worry about air quality issues here at ground level. So that's good news at least. And as we go throughout the week, I mentioned those rain chances Thursday. It's very dependent on what the remnants of what is currently Tropical Storm Beta in the Gulf of Mexico does. Most of the moisture probably stays to our south, but a spot shower is possible. And then there's some better rain chances, especially as we get into Sunday as the front starts to head our way. Temperatures, though, for most of the weekend going to be in the mid 70s to right around 80 degrees. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We want to take a look back up here on the northwest side where we had those delays due to construction on southbound I-65 as you approach I-865. You can see the traffic here looks to be moving along a little bit better than it was just moments ago. So that is great news if you're traveling towards Indianapolis from areas like Zionsville, Whitestown, Lebanon this morning. Everything looks to still be moving in that area. Just watch out for crews working in that left lane as you're heading southbound on the interstate. You can see orange barrels there for the most part pulled off the travel lane. So we'll continue to monitor this spot and keep you updated this morning. Raphael.
So Lauren, this morning, aerospace giant Raytheon announcing it is cutting 15,000 jobs. The company says the layoffs are due to less commercial air traffic because of the pandemic. The Raytheon president and CEO saying during an earnings report on Friday that he does not expect a full return to commercial flight till around 2023. The pandemic has also impacted the entire air travel industry. Major U.S. airlines are expecting to lay off or furlough thousands of workers on October the 1st. And plane manufacturer Boeing is also planning to cut more than 16,000 jobs soon.
Some new guidance now from the CDC reporting that the coronavirus can be spread through the air. Prior to this, the CDC website reported COVID-19 was spread between people within 6 feet of each other. It's also previously said that coronavirus was spread when an infected person coughs, sneezes, or talks. Well, now the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is indicating coronavirus is more contagious than they thought. According to the new guidance on the website, COVID-19 can be spread through viral particles in the air based on the latest science.
So, Lauren, here's a long list. Hand sanitizer, toilet paper, meat, and bicycles all have been in short supply this year. Coming up, why laptops are the latest to be hard to find.
And good morning to you in Lebanon, Logansport, and Lawrence. The time right now is 6:21. Thanks for joining us. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on WRTV. Stick around. Welcome back. The time right now is 6:24. Raphael, it is time we talk about what is trending at 6. So we know that the pandemic, it's delayed, postponed, canceled a number of events, right?
Everything.
Yes.
Everything.
Well, including this event. Take a look at your screen. This is the annual dog surfing contest out in California. This year's surfathon was held virtually, accepting videos of dogs surfing from anywhere in the world. The dogs were judged on the length of ride, size of wave ridden, maneuvers like walking on the board, turns on the wave, barking. The best in surf prize went to Sugar, a 10-year-old champ from Huntington Beach, California. More talented than I am.
I'll be honest. Yeah, I'm jealous. I would love to be able to do that. But I would need sort of bumper wheels and a safeguard because I'd be afraid. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Pretty
I would
cute.
love. I'm jealous.
Yeah.
It's cute. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cute.
Hey, good morning to Miriam Acevedo Davis. Miriam is our hometown hero on this Monday as she's celebrating her 16th anniversary as the president and CEO of La Plaza here in Indianapolis. The social service group has helped over 400 families during this pandemic, providing more than $200,000 in basic services, from food all the way through utility assistance. Congratulations to her. Now it's time to check your forecast with Todd Clausen. Good morning, TK.
Yeah, Raphael, good morning to you. Temperatures going into the mid-70s here later on this afternoon with completely sunny skies. Once again, it's a day very similar to yesterday. We're starting off on the cool side, but we'll warm it up to the numbers that you see there on your screen. And all those numbers are at or just above our average high of about 76 degrees for this time of year. And then look at the rest of the week. Our high temperatures are going to remain above normal. In fact, we get close to 80 degrees several days, especially as we work our way into Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So today may be the last official day of summer as fall officially arrives on the calendar tomorrow. But it's going to remain mild with pleasant overnight hours as well. We need some rainfall. Some small opportunities in this forecast going forward this week. We'll let you know when they arrive. Lauren, coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thank you. Well, the latest item in short supply this pandemic, laptop computers. If your child needs one for school, maybe you need one to work from home, it's going to be hard to find. Working for you, our John Matarese has an important warning, though, so you don't waste your money.
Millions of American children need laptops for online learning this fall, and that has left store shelves thin. So you may need to shop online. But if so, buyer beware. With parents snapping up every laptop in sight, this is what you may find in electronic stores right now. But Jorge Rosado says ordering from a website left him just as empty-handed.
I sent them a couple of emails already. Nobody get back to me.
Nothing. Jorge says he only had a few $100s to spend on a new laptop, and with decent, affordable laptops in short supply right now in major stores, he said his only real option was searching online. He found a site called The Laptop Store out of San Francisco. Jorge says the laptop store took his credit card and gave him a tracking number.
They signed my name, they leave the package, but there was nothing, no package over there.
So he Googled the seller and found their address was a Staples store that was not connected in any way.
The address is from Staples.
The Better Business Bureau gives the laptop store an F rating after similar complaints. Closer inspection of their website reveals a different address at this marketplace in Kollam, India. We emailed the store but have yet to receive any response. Need a laptop? Stick with known retailers. Check reviews of any web seller and beware cheap used laptops on Craigslist or Facebook. What do you think of them doing this to people like you?
And I don't think it's right. You know, I work for my money.
Luckily, Jorge paid by credit card and has filed a dispute, so hopefully he'll get his money back. So don't waste your money. I'm John Matarese. Good morning, Indiana.
Well, for more cost-saving tips and ideas, you can visit the money section of our website. Just go to WRTV.com.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Now on Good Morning Indiana on your Monday morning, this is your 6:30 news feed. An investigation underway after 3 people were killed in a plane crash Sunday in Kokomo in Howard County. The crash happened around 11:30 Sunday morning near Glendale Airport. When emergency crews arrived, they found the plane on fire in a field. A 4th person on board was injured and taken to the hospital.
Police are investigating the death of a man on the northeast side of Indianapolis. The man's body was found early Sunday morning at the apartment complex on Red Mill Drive off North Franklin Road and 38th Street. Metro Police ruled the man's death a homicide, but they have not said how he died. The man's identity also has not been released.
This morning, the search continues for a missing man from Carmel in Hamilton County. Police say that Timothy Royster is 44 years old. He was last seen around 8:30 Saturday night walking in the area of Westfield Boulevard and Venice Drive. Now, Royster was wearing a light gray long-sleeved pullover with a salmon-colored undershirt, a khaki cargo shorts, a white Nike hat, glasses, and Adidas shoes at the time. If you think you've seen him, you're being asked to call Carmel Police right now. The number is on your screen, 317-773-1282. Welcome to Good Morning Indiana on this Monday, September the 21st. A great weekend, Lauren. We're hoping to have a great week.
Yes, it was a beautiful weekend of weather if you're trying to get outside, but we haven't had a lot of rain here in central Indiana. Todd, we're running out of driveway space for our chalk art out there. It is full right now.
You better break out the hose and clean it off. So Archie has some new canvas there in driveway to start to draw on. But you're exactly right. We've been very, very dry. Hardly any rainfall this month from Indianapolis to the south. Still on pace for the driest September on record, at least for Indy. Northern locations, you've had some rain, but you're starting to get really dry now as well because most of that rain was at the beginning of the month. 50 in Indy and Lafayette right now with clear skies. Bloomington at 43 degrees. You've been one of our cooler spots. And as far as the satellite picture goes, there were a couple of clouds earlier this morning, and they basically have faded away. So it'll be a nice sun-filled day for us from start to finish throughout the day today. And as far as the temperatures go, it's going to be seasonable. You'll need the light jacket here this morning, as most of us are in the 40s. But once the sun comes up, notice how quickly we start to moderate these temperatures. 66 degrees by the noon hour. Highs today in the mid to upper 70s for us. And then we'll cool off into the 60s once the sun sets. Today's probably the best weather day of the week. We have some minor changes going forward as the week progresses. More on that coming up in just a few minutes, Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look right now over on the east side of town. This is I-70 here, a view near Shadeland Avenue. We did have some ramp work going on in the overnight hours. That was scheduled to wrap up at 6 a.m. here in this area as you're traveling westbound on I-70. So that is good news if you're traveling through that area. We'll continue to keep you updated, just letting you know that that issue we're monitoring on the northwest side as well. The construction on southbound I-65, that has wrapped up within the past few minutes. Back here in Indiana, more cases of COVID-19 reported over the weekend. The State Department of Health confirming 756 new cases of the virus on Sunday. 111,505 cases have been reported since this pandemic began. 3 new deaths were also reported on Sunday. That brings the total number of COVID-19 related deaths to 3,281.
And Lauren, in response to all of those numbers, an increasing number of colleges and universities are canceling spring break amid concerns that travel may increase the pandemic. The University of Michigan became one of the latest schools to scrap the traditional break. Michigan now joins Purdue, Ohio State, the University of Wisconsin, and the University of Iowa. IU and Ball State have not announced spring break plans just yet. Those universities are located in the only 2 Indiana counties listed at moderate risk. The Big Ten's 2020 football schedules, it's out. IU and Purdue will both start with games on October the 24th. The Boilers will face off against Iowa at home. The Hoosiers take on Penn State. All teams will play an 8-game regular season. And as you know, the Big Ten championship game is scheduled to be played at Lucas Oil Stadium right here in Indianapolis on December the 19th. You can find the entire schedule by clicking on this story right now at WRTV.com.
And as the pandemic continues, more families are dealing with food insecurities all across central Indiana. The Girl Scouts and Kroger, well, they are now working together to help. By 2025, the Kroger Foundation is on a mission to end hunger in communities they call home and eliminate food waste across the company. A new Girl Scout patch program puts girls through Kroger's Zero Hunger, Zero Waste curriculum. We talked to 3 girls who earned the patch over the summer.
Maybe if I can make a change in the world for people to not be starving anymore and all that, then maybe our world would be slightly different.
We hope that they learn about the fact that, first of all, that there is food insecurity in Indiana, and that there are food deserts, and that there are things that they can do in their own school, in their neighborhood, in their community to actually make a difference.
Well, after completing the patch program, scouts are then encouraged to create a community garden, learn to compost, host a recycling program. They're also encouraged to teach those around them about hunger in Indiana. Some smart girls right there.
Indeed, Lauren, indeed on that. Less than 72 hours after her passing, the battle over the Supreme Court seat of the late Ruth Bader Ginsburg already heating up. Next, we'll show you how a Hoosier judge may be next in line for the High Court.
And working together to make sure that your voice is heard. Coming up, we'll have a report on several organizations coming together to increase voter participation. It is 6:34 on your Monday. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. Our coverage of Democracy 2020 continues this morning as the race for the White House is now focused on a sudden vacancy at the U.S. Supreme Court. With the election just over a month away, the death of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg on Friday set up a battle over whether her successor should be considered before voters go to the polls. President Trump, he used a tele-rally on Facebook over the weekend to indicate that he will nominate a new justice very soon.
We have tremendous women on the list, as you know, and it will be a highly qualified person. It will be a woman that we choose, and the nomination will be put forth sometime next week.
A number of reports say the front runner for the nomination is a conservative federal appeals court judge from Indiana. Judge Amy Coney Barrett was nominated by President Trump to the 7th Circuit Court of Appeals back in 2017. She's also a professor at Notre Dame Law School. Some Democrats are already saying Judge Barrett is unacceptable.
She stands for all the things Ruth Bader Ginsburg was against, and so many things that the vast majority of American people are against.
Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell also being criticized for promising a quick vote on a new justice. You may recall that back in 2016, McConnell blocked a vote on President Obama's nominee, Merrick Garland, for a Supreme Court vacancy almost 9 months before that year's election. At the time, McConnell argued that the winner of the election should nominate the next justice. So the election is now just 43 days away, and Lord, it's expected to turn out major voter turnout.
And so, Raphael, our own Kelsey Anderson is joining us this morning with how a nonpartisan organization is trying to make registering to vote much easier.
Good morning. So just 4 months ago, 3 strangers got together and created the organization Go Vote INDY. And their hope is to help other people understand the process of voting and helping them get over those hurdles that come with voting. So in honor of National Voter Registration Day, they are going to host a block party of sorts here at the Hi-Fi Annex. And that is going to be an event that's outdoors, so social distancing will be possible and masks are required. Go Vote INDY, along with other grassroots organizations, will be there to help voters register, urge people to volunteer at the polls, and to drive other voters to the polls. Once registration closes October 5th, the focus turns to educating voters and making sure barriers that were in place for the primary election in Marion County don't keep people from casting their vote in the general elections.
Everybody's working and voting together. That has a lot of power, and that has a lot of power to make huge change happen. And so when you say, or when you hear, your voice matters, your vote matters, it's absolutely 100% true.
To vote in November, you must be registered by October 5th. And if you wish to vote absentee, you need to have that absentee ballot request in by October 22nd. So for more information on voting, head over to WRTV.com. Working for you, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
All right, Kelsey, thank you. And WRTV is your source for all you need to know before November 3rd. Go to our Vote in 2020 digital section at WRTV.com. There you'll find everything you need to know, including who's on your ballot, where and when you can vote, and any other questions you might have this upcoming election. You can find it all at WRTV.com/vote in 2020.
Lauren, it is Money Monday. The extra unemployment cash finally on its way. Next, how much money Hoosiers can expect, plus more ways to help those without jobs to find work.
And enjoying the outdoors and saving lives at the same time. We'll show you how this mutt strut paid tribute to a man who continues to give years after his passing. Todd.
It's no secret. We've been talking about it for weeks now, how dry we are here across central Indiana. Still on pace for the driest September on record for the city of Indianapolis. Only 0.04 of an inch of rain has fallen, and there's not much in their forecast going into this week. Maybe a very small chance on Thursday. We'll break down your 7-day planning forecast for you coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana on your Monday. This is a live look at I-70 out near the airport to our west. You can see traffic here on the interstate is traveling up to speed, both eastbound and westbound. So if you do need to head out there, catch a flight early this morning or drop someone off at the airport, you shouldn't have any problems in terms of traffic. Well, this week, Hoosiers will finally be receiving that extra $300 in unemployment benefits that the president promised about 2 months ago.
Yeah, the payments, Lauren, will cover 6 weeks of benefits dating back to August the 1st. Now, the federal dollars are already spent, and the state now is focused on helping others, many of you, find jobs.
They should check in with their local Work One to make sure that they can receive that spot. But that's absolutely right. You know, there are still employers hiring, and we are seeing people go back to work. Obviously, it's important that people continue to do so in a safe way so we can continue this path forward. But they should reach out to a Work One to look, in the meantime, what training options might be available or what resources to connect them with employment without training.
Here at our WRTV, you could always connect with the hiringhoosiers.com for jobs every day. But before you head out to a Work One office with the state, you should call ahead and make an appointment. Lauren?
Well, Raphael, as you mentioned, Hiring Hoosiers, it's our mission to connect you to new job opportunities that are out there right now. Today, you can join WRTV and the Indiana Black Expo for a free Zoom webinar. This is to help you prepare for virtual job interviews. It's this afternoon from noon until 2 p.m., presented by Cummins. Hiring Hoosiers partner Spherion Staffing will also be on hand with some tips on how to interview for your next job in this virtual platform. You can also put what you learned to good use at our next virtual Hiring Hoosiers Employment Opportunity Fair. That starts at noon tomorrow. It's also free. Companies looking to hire include FedEx, First Merchants Bank, Indianapolis Airport Authority, Lowe's, and many more. For more information and to register, find this story at hiringhoosiers.com. There's also information at indianablackexpo.com.
The Noblesville community continues to honor the life of race car driver Brian Clausen, while also bringing awareness for the need for organ and tissue donations. Indiana Donor Network held its annual Strut to Save Lives dog walk Sunday at Dillon Park. Clausen was a Noblesville native who died after a crash in Kansas in 2016. He was able to save 5 lives and enhance the lives of over 75 people through organ and tissue donations. His sisters say her family did not know a lot about organ donations until he passed away. But his gift to others has put a light in their life during a dark time.
So there's currently 113,000 people nationwide waiting for a life-saving transplant. So that's life or death for those people. And the fact that Brian was able to give another opportunity of life to somebody is just incredible. And it's very humbling. And I think it speaks to who he was as not only a person in the community, but also who he was deep down inside.
The Clausen's sister says holding this event in Noblesville is special to them because of how the community has wrapped its arms around them since his passing. It's also a great cause, and we thank his family for keeping us aware of this great issue. Time to check your forecast with Todd Clausen. This would be another great day, Todd, to take your dog for a walk. In fact, right now, perfect time. Cool outside at this moment.
You know, anytime you want to go throughout the course of today, you're in great shape, Raphael. You're exactly right. It's going to be a beautiful Monday for us. Very similar to yesterday with the sunshine, the low humidity, and the very comfortable temperatures. The skies just now starting to brighten here. How pretty does the skyline look? War Memorial, Salesforce Tower, One America building there with the skies brightening and the sunrise, just a few high, thin clouds currently there across central Indiana as you look off towards the east. And these temperatures On the cool side, you definitely need to have the jacket once again this morning. We're right at 40 degrees now in Greencastle, 43 in Bloomington. Columbus, you've dipped down to 39 degrees. It's 44 in Muncie. And Richmond, you're currently at 48 degrees currently. But we'll all warm up very quickly with the sunshine here throughout the day today. We're in the 50s probably through 10 a.m. And then as we continue into the noon hour, we're up to 66 degrees with sunshine, low 70s by 2 p.m. And then high temperatures today anywhere between about 75 and 80 degrees depending on where you live. Our average high this time of year is 76 to 77. So we're right on track for high temperatures being where they should be for this time of year. In fact, today is the last official day of summer. Fall officially arrives tomorrow. Satellite radar picture nice and quiet. We expand out. We have this little front that's off to our west, and that'll bypass us to the north. You do not have to worry about that. But one thing we will keep an eye on for you is Tropical Storm Beta. You can see it's not nearly as well organized as Hurricane Sally last week, but this is going to bring quite a bit of rainfall to the Gulf Coast from Houston back into Louisiana. And then it's going to start to curve up and move through the southeast. Hopefully it gets close enough to us Wednesday into Thursday to just bring us a little bit in the way of rainfall. You don't have to worry about strong winds or anything like that, but we need the rain here across central Indiana. It's not a guarantee that we get the rain from that, but it's our best hope here, at least through the work week. As far as the evening planner, we cool into the 60s pretty quickly. Then overnight tonight, 49 in the city. Cooler in the outlying areas once again under a clear sky. And then for the day tomorrow, partly cloudy skies. Temperatures very similar, up to about 76 to 77 degrees for your high temperature. And as you look at your 7-day planning forecast, one thing you'll notice, especially as we work our way into the overnight hours, tomorrow's probably the last morning that we're in the 40s, and then low temperatures will moderate throughout the week, mid-50s through the middle half of the week, and then 60s for low temperatures over the weekend. Spot shower chance on Thursday, a little better chance of maybe some scattered showers and storms, Lauren, as we work our way from Saturday into Sunday.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look at traffic right now as you're heading out on the roads, getting to work or school this Monday. Here's a look in the downtown area, I-70 and I-65 here at the North Split, where traffic is picking up this morning. No major issues around the metro area to slow down your commute. Great news as you're heading out on the roads at this early hour. So, Raphael, the Emmy Awards have been handed out. The ceremonies were virtual this weekend, and some performers were required to pre-record their acceptance speeches just in case they won, and it looks like you won.
So everyone wants the Emmy, right? But comedian Patton Oswalt did not win in the category for Outstanding Variety Special. But he decided to post his pre-recorded winner's speech anyway, and it turned out to feature something that happens when award speeches run too long, and so it was also very prophetic.
And most of all, thank you to my amazing daughter, Alice, and beautiful wife, Meredith. You guys are the sun and the... being played off, apparently.
She passed it and won!
And so it happens. As it turns out, Patton's daughter was right. Dave Chappelle did win. He took home 3 Emmys for his Netflix stand-up special, Sticks and Stones. Maybe next year.
Yeah,
maybe next year.
That was pretty funny. I appreciate that. Well, it was an Emmy Awards like no other here on WRTV. Coming up today on Good Morning America, the biggest moments from last night and what the stars are saying about that virtual show. It is 6:51 on your Monday. Stick around. We'll be right back. At 6 on this Monday morning, these are some of your top stories here on Good Morning Indiana.
3 people still in the hospital today after a shooting involving a Metro police officer. This happened just before noon Sunday when officers were called to the Parkway Terrace Apartments on Pleasant Run Parkway. Police tell us when they arrived that there was a large disturbance with a firearm. We're told a man fired shots at a police officer. That officer then returned gunfire, injuring the shooter. The gunman remains in the hospital along with 2 women who were also wounded.
Well, Indianapolis could be a bubble location for a college basketball tournament next year. That proposal would have the Indiana Sports Corporation host the tournament at the Indiana Convention Center. The cost would start at $90,000 per team. That would cover everything from hotel rooms to COVID-19 testing. Indiana Convention Center halls could transform into 2 courts for the competition.
And Lauren, the ongoing dry conditions are causing problems for firefighters across our state. A large fire Sunday afternoon destroyed a part of a soybean field in Wayne County. No injuries were reported, and firefighters managed to contain that fire before it reached any structures. Now, the state fire marshal has issued a warning to be careful when burning outdoors, and that includes grilling, campfires, burning limbs or branches, and setting off fireworks. The fire marshal says you need to make sure you have water nearby and a way to extinguish a fire if one starts. Some good advice there, as it is very dry, Todd Clausen, throughout Indiana.
Yeah, you know, we're on pace here, Raphael, for the driest September on record right now. We've only had 400ths of an inch of rain in Indianapolis. Not much rain going forward in this forecast. A spot shower or two possible on Thursday. A little better rain chances Saturday into Sunday as a front heads our way. But otherwise, we are looking at lots of sunshine, dry conditions, temperatures in the 70s for the most part this week. One thing you will notice is as we get into the middle of the week, we'll probably start to deal with a little bit of that wildfire smoke making its way back into central Indiana. So today we'll have the bright blue sky. The sky becomes a little milkier looking as we work our way into the middle of the week. And then also one of the changes you'll notice is overnight. Not quite as cool in the morning hours. Still in the 40s tomorrow, then 50s. By the weekend, though, low temperatures, Lauren, will be in the 60s.
All right, Todd, well, look at this rainbow-colored sky over central Indiana and the city skyline there in the background. We're back here in 25 minutes and all throughout Good Morning America with local news, weather, and traffic updates. All your news can be found throughout the day by going to the WRTV app. We hope you have a great Monday, and thank you for joining us here on Good Morning Indiana.